Hello everybody, my name is TaurusLehane, and welcome to Dead by Daylight. This is actually a second parter to a video that I did yesterday, basically kind of giving some hints and tips and tricks to newbies that are going to be coming to the game in June next month. Because we are getting the 5 Nights at Freddy's chapter. I have over 11,000 hours, mostly on Killer, and I just wanted to give some input and insight. So just to kind of reiterate yesterday, kind of a few things, and I'll show off the gameplay. I'm not running and moving right now because this is actually my second attempt at the video. And in the first attempt, everybody was camp tunnel and slugged at 5 generators. So that was real fun for me. So the very top perk there in the bottom right-hand corner is Deja Vu. Gonna start moving because I got a crow now and I don't want to be a complete prick. And they just exploded a gen outside the door, so this should be fantastic for me. And now they see that I'm just doing this. Okay, please go away and leave me alone. I'm trying to do something. So the very top perk there is Deja Vu. And Deja Vu shows me the ores of generators that I should work on because they're a 3-gen. And a lot of times killers will camp 3 gens. It doesn't seem like the killer's coming over here, so I'm just going to work on it even though she exploded it. And basically, it gives me an increased speed on repairing it. If I do one of the generators highlighted in red, of course it's a Ghostface. Hi, Ghostface. Aww, 11,000 hours in this game, and this is one of the killers that still scares me, so this is fantastic. I get downed at the very beginning. I promise you I'm decent at this game as a survivor, even though I'm a killer main. It's just Ghostface. Of course it's Ghostface. Yay! So, anywho, this will actually give me wonderful amounts of time to tell you about things, as long as one of my teammates doesn't save me immediately. So Deja Vu, again, it highlights generators in red that are a 3-gen, and I get an increased speed on actually fixing them, which is really nice. You want to get those done. You want to get those done ASAP. Of course, they saved me before I finished talking about the very first perk. That's great. We'll just follow her and maybe she'll heal me. She'll probably mess up just like she did on the generator, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm actually not going to help her repair this gen after she's done healing me successfully, hopefully. I'm going to leave because I need to do one of the red gens. Now, to be clear, all of the killers see the gens highlighted in red because they know that that's their objective, is to get us off the generators so that we can't finish them and actually escape. But we need to get this done. Now, it is red right now because I have somebody else working on the generator with me, but if they were to leave, it would go back to yellow, and I would get that increased speed, which would be excelente. Of course. Thanks for boxing me in, Claudette. Really appreciate it. That actually is reportable and bannable, because that's considered a sandbag. I don't think she did it on purpose. I just don't think she has a lot of hours or knowledge to know that she's blocking me. But if you are in a game and your teammate is doing that, that's actually reportable and bannable, because it's considered working with a killer. But again, I don't think this particular person did that on purpose. I just think they didn't know that that was a thing, to be honest with you. Oh, great. That's great for me. Now, when you do run like this, you do leave scratch marks, so it's easier for the killer to find you. But Kindred is actually helping us right now. Kindred is helping us. That is the that is the left-sided perk in the bottom right-hand corner, because it shows us the killer's aura when they're too close to a hooked survivor. And that's going to help us not go unhook them immediately, so that... So that... we know not to go unhook them, because otherwise the killer is going to come right to us, and then they're going to start to snowball, and the game can end very quickly. And then I also have resilience in the bottom right-hand corner. On the right side there, it looks like somebody is about to punch somebody, square up, whatever, squabble up, as Kendrick Lamar rapped about. And that basically helps me when I'm injured. Oh my goodness gracious. So when I'm injured, if I'm injured by the killer and I escape the killer, it gives me a 9% bonus on doing everything in the game that's going to help me survive. Furthermore, now that I'm in a chase, you're seeing walls of opportunity, which is a teachable for Kate, the killer, the survivor that I'm playing, excuse me. And this is really helpful for newbies because it shows me all the auras of pallets and vaults in yellow. And it's going to help me escape the killer every single time. Now, if I was injured, it would also increase my ability to escape the killer by 9% because I'm going to be faster. And there's a stun. You can't actually fight the killers in this game, unlike other online asymmetrical horror games. Multiplayer. You know, I don't get to have a bat or a frying pan or a wrench or something to hit the killer with. All I have is pallets to stun them, and there are flashlights to blind them and also stun the killer that way. You can also use head-on. Teehee. There's a stun. So these are all helping me escape the killer and know where I can use a stun. Now, something to keep in mind is that once you use a pallet... Teehee. Once you use a pallet, by throwing it down and stunning the killer, or not stunning the killer, they can break it, and it can't come back. It does not come back. The only time it kind of comes back is if you're... is if you're going against a doctor, and the doctor has the... okay, thanks. The doctor has the ability to make it look like that there is a pallet when there actually isn't. There's also the Nightmare, aka Freddy Krueger, that can basically do fake pallets, but none of these pallets are going to help you at all in regards to going against the killer because they're fake. They're not real. So I have 2 hooks to my name. You get 3 hooks and then you're dead. We're at 1 generator, which is absolutely fantastic and is way different than the game I played before this. That just, I really didn't get enough time to showcase any of it. Thank you, Jake. So we're going to follow him. I am leaving blood and I am leaving scratch marks, but I'm hoping Ghostface will not camp, tunnel, or slug me. And so then that way, mostly tunnel in this way. Jake, can you stop and heal me? Or what are we doing? What are we doing, buddy? So something that I really drives me insane in this game is when you get taken off the hook, don't run from the hook to be healed. The only reason I'm doing that, or just did it, is because I'm Death Hook. And also, if Jake didn't run away, I would have followed him. And again, if I was not on Death Hook, if this was not my last hook, I would have just watched him leave and I would have gone to work on a gen. Because I have that 9% increase from resilience. But because it's my final hook, I need to get healed by any means necessary. But in general, if you're not on your final hook and somebody saves you from the hook, be healed there. Be healed right there. Just stay there and get healed there. Because... oh, where did she go down? She's over there. Alright. Because as a killer main, I'm going to assume that you went to hide. And not only did you go to hide, but you went to hide in the nearest corner. And 9 times out of 10, that's where survivors go to hide if they do hide. Now, I realize that if you save somebody from the hook and it explodes, the killer's going to be like, okay, I need to go over there and save them, right? Or not save them. Oh my gosh. Kill them. Murder them. Stab them in the face. Whatever's going on. I'm saying stab because it's Ghostface, but a lot of killers would stab you in the face as well. But anywho, so they're going to go back to the hook. But if you're not at the hook healing, then they're going to go looking for you in the nearest corner. And if you're not in that corner, then they're probably just going to ride the edge of the map until they find you. And that's, okay. And that's going to be not great, you know, because, I mean, either way, if the killer wants to find you, they're going to find you, and that's the point. But at least if you're healing at the hook, you're not taking the time to run away and leaving scratch marks and blood and all that other kind of shit. Stuff. Sorry, YouTube doesn't like it when you cuss. I don't know if he's just like, if he wants me to actually save them, or if he's trying to bait me. I think he's just trying to bait me because he's picking them up now, and either he's going to hook them or he's going to bring them here. If he's going to hook them, it's whatever. I can still save them. But if he actually wants them to escape, he's going to bring them in this area. So I'm not going to fall for it, man. I am Death Hook. I'm not going to fall for it. There's no way, dude. I'm not going to fall for it. They either have to come here, right here, or you could bring them all the way in here. That's up to you. If the survivor gets there, I will heal them. But I'm not going to do it before that. Yeah, see, now he's playing games. Yeah, no. Okay, whatever. So I think I did explain all the perks, but just in case, I'll do it again because it's definitely kind of hectic when you're trying to do it and you're going up against one of the very few killers who still scare you in this game. If it was pretty much anyone outside of Ghostface or Michael, I would have been able to do it a lot calmer and a lot better, I think. I don't know, but we'll hang out here a little bit at the end and I'll go over the perks one more time, just in case, because I feel like I might have left out one and accidentally went over one more than once or something like that. So anyway, once again, we have Windows of Opportunity. Windows of Opportunity, it shows you all the vaults and aka windows and also pallets that you can use against the killer when you're in a chase. This can be used on any map, and don't be ashamed to use this perk because everybody uses this perk. Everybody that starts off in the very beginning. It is a very beginner user friendly perk, but also I've seen people with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of gameplay running this perk as well. So never be ashamed to run it, especially if it's a brand new map. And obviously, if you're a brand new person to this game, it's going to be a brand new map to each and every person that plays this game. So never be ashamed to run this, and anybody who gives you crap for it just doesn't get it, really. They just don't. Because even after thousands and thousands of hours, sometimes you're thinking about other things and you just kind of want to no-brain it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're not always no-braining it, even if you know where all the vaults are and all the pallets are, because you still have to plan ahead and you still have to consider how the killer's playing, consider their power, all that other kind of stuff, because there are powers, unfortunately, and perks that go against all of these things. But this is going to be helpful to you a lot of the time. And then we have resilience. Every time that I'm injured but I escape a chase from a killer, everything that I do in the game that would help me survive goes up 9%. It increases the time it takes to do everything, and it's just overall fantastic. Again, if you can get out of a chase and you're injured. I would never advocate for a survivor going out and getting injured on purpose just to be able to run resilience and get value out of it, but it is good to have just in case. And then Kindred. Kindred makes it so that when the killer hooks another survivor, or they hook you, you see the aura of the killer if they're too close to the hook. And if the killer is too close to the hook, I don't encourage you to go save that survivor no matter what. I don't care if you know them or not or whatever. I mean, I would, but that's just because I'm a killer main and I don't care about survivors much. But in general, if you're a survivor main or you're trying to level up a survivor, I would never recommend after a killer hooks their survivor and you see their aura in pink, with Kindred that you go and save that survivor. Just do gens. Just do gens. Just open an exit gate. Just get out. Don't put yourself in danger. And because if you do, what's going to happen is the killer might start to snowball, and then, you know, the game's just going to end super quickly. That's what happened in the game before this, that I started to record, and then he had down and hooked everybody at 5 generators, because the survivors weren't doing generators, and people were just saving the survivor willy-nilly and not giving it time. And I could see the pink aura, which is why I wasn't going to save, but everybody else was, because nobody else was running Kindred, and nobody else could see what was happening with the killer, and it was just awful. And so it's going to save a lot of headaches if you run Kindred and have that knowledge. And then lastly, Deja Vu. Deja Vu is a perk that I still run on a regular basis when I play Survivor, even at over 11,000 hours that I have in this game, because it helps you see the 3 gens. And 3 gens are really fantastic for killers to kind of camp and make sure nobody does any of those 3 gens, because otherwise the game is no longer in their favor. And sometimes killers will come in and they have it in their minds that they are going to camp a 3 gen, and they're just going to, you know, they're going to turn a 15, 20-minute game into a 30 or 40-minute game, and it's just going to be a huge headache, because either you're going to get the gens done, and it's going to be a huge pain, or they're going to kill everybody, and that's going to be a huge pain, because it's going to feel like all the effort you put in to those 3 gens was not worth it. So anyway, that's what I recommend. Just go over it again one more time, is you want to get Kate, because Windows of Opportunity is her teachable, and in my opinion, it's one of the best perks for a brand new player in the game. So you want to get Kate here, because it's only available on her when you first buy the game. Once you level her up once to Prestige 1, and that's 100 levels, or I'm sorry, 50 levels, excuse me, then you can unlock it for all the survivors, all of them. But you want to start with Kate, and you want to use Windows of Opportunity. It's gonna be a different color than this, because this is the highest tier, because again, I have 11,000 hours, so I have all the highest tiers on all the perks pretty much. And there are 3 different tiers, but every time you level her up a prestige, it unlocks a higher one. Well, the first 3 levels anyway. It's confusing, and that's a whole other thing. You'll figure it out, I promise you. But just think about it. You know, get DbD, get Kate. You're going to have to spend some money, because she's not a base character. And then run Windows of Opportunity. And then these other perks, Resilience, Kindred, and Deja Vu, are automatically unlockable from the very beginning in your Blood Web. You just have to play some games, get some blood points, daily login rewards. Is happening a lot right now specifically, and I'm sure it will, especially once the chapter drops her 5 Nights at Freddy's. You're going to get a lot of blood points very quickly, and you can level these up very quickly and obtain them in your Blood Web, and it's going to be fantastic. All right. I think that's it. I think I've filled your head with enough knowledge at this point. I will definitely be doing a killer version as well. You know, both having like more of a build video, and then also having actual gameplay. And I'll do that next week, just because it will give me a little bit more time. Excuse me. The reason I decided to do Survivor first instead of Killer is, is because I think just odds-wise, more people are going to want to play Survivor over Killer. And furthermore, I started as a Survivor main in this game. I started as a Survivor main, and then I started playing Killer. And I've been addicted ever since. And I still play both sides, but I play a lot more Killer nowadays. And one of the best pieces of advice that I ever heard is, if you want to be good at Killer, play Survivor. And if you want to be good at Survivor, play Killer. And it's so true, because you really learn what each side sees, and what they think, and what they plan for. And then that's going to make you a better killer or a survivor, depending on like like different maps and different add-ons and different offerings. Like, you look at all these other perks: Dead Hard, Bond, Windows of Opportunity, again, Deja Vu. Look, they got 2 out of 4 that I'm showing you. I don't know how many hours they have, but, you know, and then you got Spine Chill, Lightweight, Resilience. There's another one that I run. There's Premonition. Just a small note, this is considered one of the worst perks in the game, but it's also probably a good beginner perk, to be honest with you. Self-Care, Dark Sense, Empathy, Premonition. I wonder if they know each other, because again, this is considered like one of the worst perks in the game overall for survivors. So I'm feeling like they know each other. I'm not really sure, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's so many perks, there's so many add-ons, there's so many offerings in this game on both sides that, you know, I just wanted to put something very simple together. It's why I didn't bring any add-ons or offerings, because it's just a whole other thing. And quite frankly, I don't really feel like you should worry about it in the very beginning. I don't. I think you should really worry about this first, and then you can move on to offerings and add-ons and items and all that other kind of stuff, because it's just not, I wouldn't say it's not completely unnecessary or necessary, but just focus on perks first. With so many options and so many things in this game, it's really important to figure out the base of it all, and that's perks. And then again, like I said, you can go on to offerings, which have, you know, this one right here makes it so that they're going to keep all of their add-ons, which is right here. And then this one right here makes it so that if anybody brings, like, it just makes it so that the entity rejects all the offerings. So in other words, this one probably got rejected, but it's only if it's a map offering. And map offerings is a huge other thing in this game that, again, you don't need to worry about, but something to think about, you know. But once again, I just want to say, Windows of Opportunity, Resilience, Kindred, and Deja Vu are, in my opinion, at 11,000 hours in this game, playing on and off again since December of 2017. This is a really good new player build. Thank you so much for watching. I've been TaurusLehane. My main platform is Twitch, which I stream on 5 days a week, but I'm also on all the social medias, which you will find in the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.